Coming up in this edition of the 2018 FIFA World Cup magazine, we're at the launch of the Volunteers programme. We visit Nizhny Novgorod on the banks of the Volga River. And we learn about an icon of Russian culture. In early June, Moscow's Vdenkha in the capital's north was the setting for the launch of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Volunteers programme. An important stop on the road to 2018, the event included live links to some of the host cities and featured a number of high-profile dignitaries. On stage in Moscow were the Russian and FIFA presidents, who were joined by former national team goalkeeper Rinat Desaev and 2010 FIFA World Cup winner Carlos Puyol.
Only 742 days are left until the most important event in world football will take place in our country for the first time. Russia will host the 32 best national teams in the world. And today we launch the 33rd team, the 2018 Volunteers.
Команды волонтеров 2018.
It is a crucial milestone because the volunteers are really the lifeblood of the Euro. They are the face of the World Cup. They are the first face that people encounter when they come into a country. They are the first smile that people see.
I was fortunate enough to play at 3 World Cups, and there were always volunteers on hand. They were always there to help, and they actually do become part of your team, part of your delegation, because when you have good moments, you celebrate with them. I think they are instrumental in an event like this. They are very important.
A key part of any successful major sporting event, the Volunteers programme is open to all applicants over the age of 18.
It's difficult to say why I want to volunteer. How to describe it? I think it's a calling to be a part of something as great an event as the FIFA World Cup.
Over the years, we've seen the number of people applying to be volunteers increasing, which is a good thing. They're an important part of this football party. I think it's something beautiful to be involved in.
An estimated 5,500 volunteers will be involved in the 2017 FIFA Confederations Cup, while around 15,000 will take part in the 2018 FIFA World Cup. For all of them, their journey begins now. On the pitch, the Papua New Guinea capital of Port Moresby recently played host to the 2016 OFC Cup. The quadrennial tournament, which featured 8 teams, also doubled up as the second round of OFC qualifying for the 2018 FIFA World Cup, with the teams divided into 2 groups. In Group A, reigning champions Tahiti began their campaign against Samoa, and it wasn't long before they opened the scoring through Teanui Tehau. 3 minutes later, the striker doubled Tahiti's lead before Stevie Chong Wei added a third. Alvin Tehau added a fourth in the 39th minute to seal a comprehensive victory for the Iron Warriors. With the top 3 in the group progressing, draws against Papua New Guinea and New Caledonia in their remaining games were enough to see Tahiti through as they finished 3rd in the standings. In Group B, New Zealand secured top spot with a 100% record. They'd be joined in the 3rd round of qualifying by the Solomon Islands and Fiji, who both finished above Vanuatu on goal difference. Following victories over New Caledonia and the Solomon Islands respectively in the semi-finals, New Zealand met Papua New Guinea in the OFC Cup final. In front of a sold-out crowd at the Sir John Guy Stadium in Port Moresby, the hosts were playing in their maiden final, while the Kiwis were contesting their 5th. After 120 minutes of goalless action, the match went to penalties. With Korek Opaga missing PNG's first penalty, the advantage was with the visitors. But after New Zealand's Jeremy Brockie missed, Raymond Gunemba had a chance to level things. The 26-year-old's miss gave Marco Rojas the opportunity to seal victory for the All Whites, which he duly did. New Zealand's triumph not only saw them lift the OFC Cup for a record 5th time, but also qualified them for the 2017 FIFA Confederations Cup in Russia. Located 400 kilometers east of Moscow on the banks of the Volga River, Nizhny Novgorod is the 5th largest city in Russia with a population of 1.3 million. A city with a rich history, Nizhny was a key center of the Russian Empire for trade and industry, and it retains much of this importance today. With 2 years to go to the 2018 FIFA World Cup, the city is currently undergoing a massive redevelopment of its infrastructure.
The World Cup is a huge incentive for us to help Nizhny Novgorod showcase itself, not just as an industrial and financial centre, but also as a tourist one too. We have set ourselves the ambitious goal of attracting 3 million tourists to the region following the tournament.
An estimated $945 million is being spent on the region's preparations, which include the new Nizhny Novgorod Stadium, with $63 million going towards a new terminal at the city's Strigino airport. A key part of the city's plans, the terminal was opened in March 2016 and is one of the most modern in Russia. It has been fitted out with the latest technology, allowing for the complete mechanization and facilitation of all services. It is expected to increase passenger traffic by 50% to 1.5 million per year. There are also plans underway to renovate and lengthen one of the airport's 2 runways, allowing it to accommodate a wider variety of planes.
The look of the airport is supposed to reflect the Volga River and the region. The hope is it will become a symbol of a modern Nizhny Novgorod for many years to come. A lot of fans will be arriving at the new terminal, and we want to make an impression on them that stays with them long after they leave.
Another important project currently underway is the extension of the city's metro system. A total of 5 new stations are being built ahead of the tournament, with a further 10 planned for completion by 2025. The nearest station to the stadium will be called Strelka, a 10-minute journey from central Nizhny. It will service approximately 25 to 30,000 fans on match day.
This station will allow visitors to our city to get from the airport to the centre of town and to the stadium in comfort. Long term, the Strelka station will connect 200,000 people who live nearby to the rest of Nizhny Novgorod. Its opening is something we're all looking forward to.
Nizhny's preparations are well in hand, showcasing that the FIFA World Cup's legacy here will go beyond just the action on the pitch.
Being a host city is a huge honour for us. We're looking forward to welcoming the fans who come here. I think the Russian hospitality will win the hearts of people, many of whom will fall in love with our city.
In 2015, work began on the Nizhny Novgorod Stadium. Like the other venues being built for the 2018 FIFA World Cup, it will serve as a focal point for the city's activities, inspiring football fans of all ages.
I was very happy when I heard that the World Cup was going to be held in my hometown. It will be an exciting time because lots of people from different countries with different languages and cultures will be coming here.
Of course, the young people are looking forward to it. Everything we're building is for them. The plan is to leave a sporting legacy for future generations, who we hope will develop into football stars.
The stadium is being constructed at the convergence of the Oka and Volga rivers. The border between the upper and lower sides of the city, the venue's location puts it in the heart of Nizhny and will offer spectators unrivaled views of the city's Kremlin across the water.
The junction where the Oka and Volga rivers meet is a natural phenomenon and is a very beautiful part of the city. The spot has a lot of history attached to it from when Nizhny was a trading city, and this is why we chose this picturesque location. The architectural look of the stadium uses the themes of water and wind, taking into account its proximity to the two rivers. The facade will be covered by a transparent windproof membrane and will be encircled by 3 angled columns, giving the stadium a precise and modern look. There will also be a pedestrian walkway encircling the facade, making it easy for fans to enter and exit. Of course, the main thing fans will be interested in is the game, their view of the pitch and the atmosphere. The decision to have 2 level tribunes was to maximise both of these for visiting fans.
One of my dreams is that Russia will play Portugal at the World Cup, and I will be one of the ball boys. I will be there live, watching the game, maybe even by the goalposts. Cristiano Ronaldo will run to me and ask for the ball, and I will happily pass it to him.
With the recent winding up of FC Volga, the stadium's tenants following 2018 remains to be decided. What is clear is that the 45,000-seater venue will host a total of 6 matches during the FIFA World Cup, including a round of 16 contest and a quarter-final.
I think the Russian people deserve to hold an event of this level in their country. We've been waiting for this event for a long time. Personally, I can't wait to be able to watch the games and support my national team.
It is my dream to be part of this grand event. Even if I'm a ball boy or just a fan, it will be a historic moment for my country. To host the FIFA World Cup is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I am sure it will be an amazing and memorable tournament.
2018 will mark the 21st edition of the FIFA World Cup. Here to share his memories of the 1970 tournament is a prolific Soviet Union forward. Winner of Olympic gold in 1988 and the last man to coach the Soviet national team, Anatoly Bishevets was a key member of the squad that travelled to Mexico for the 9th edition of the FIFA World Cup. Along with his teammates, he had the distinction of facing the hosts in the opening game at the Estadio Azteca in front of a crowd of 107,000.
The opening of the World Cup was an event in itself. There was an unbelievable atmosphere in the stadium. It made us very excited and nervous at the same time. Your first game of a tournament is always important. It's a match you can't afford to lose. Of course, history shows we didn't achieve the victory we wanted. But I think the draw was a good result. It showed that we could adapt to the testing conditions.
He may have failed to find the back of the net in his team's goalless draw with Mexico, but Bishevets soon found his form. Over the course of the subsequent matches against Belgium and El Salvador, he scored a total of 4 goals.
If you watch the footage after I score, I never acted like Maradona. running around and celebrating wildly. I had a simple attitude of just getting on with my job. Of course, I was excited and full of joy to score, but I never went over the top. It wasn't in my character.
Having finished level on points with Mexico and drawn lots to decide their quarter-final opponents, the USSR faced Uruguay. The match took place at the Azteca, and despite Bishowitz thinking he'd put the Soviets ahead, only for the goal to be ruled out, it would be the South Americans who had progressed to the semis.
A lot has been said about Uruguay's goal and whether the ball was out or not, but it was a clean goal. Sure, it was disappointing to lose. We had a good chance to go far, but I think we overrated ourselves a little.
An earlier-than-expected exit may have put paid to his dreams of World Cup glory, but the 1970 tournament did leave Anatoly Bishowitz with plenty to savour.
For me personally, to lose at that stage of the World Cup was very disappointing. We never hit the heights as a team that I had always dreamed about and strived towards as a player. I do have some good memories though. Mexico was very interesting. It was a country with a lot of culture and history. And I also had the opportunity to watch with my own eyes some incredible players, specifically the Brazilian team. They had skillful players like Rivellino, Gerson, and who could forget Pelé and Jairzinho. For me, the World Cup was an incredible experience that's hard to describe.
11 of Russia's cities will host the 2018 tournament. Here to tell us about his hometown is a well-known TV personality.
Hi, I'm Pavel Zanoinin, a sports commentator and presenter. Welcome to Nizhny Novgorod. Let me show you a few of the city's sights. This is Vodnik Stadium, in the heart of Nizhny. This is where I fell in love with football. When I was small, I came here with my friends to play, and it's part of the reason why I became a commentator. It's an unusual location for a stadium, but I was fortunate to live next to it. Now we're on Bolshaya Pokrovskaya, next to the Drama Theatre. It's our version of Moscow's Arbat, the city's thoroughfare, and the centre for cultural life here. It's a very popular and beautiful place to visit. When you visit the Drama Theatre, you see the statue of the great actor Yevgeny Yevstigneyev. He studied at the city's theatre college. As you can see, his nose is white. This is because people say it will bring you happiness if you rub it. At the end of the main street is Minin and Poharsky Square. This is where the fan zone will be located in 2018 and be the best place to watch matches outside the stadium. This is Fedorovsky Embankment, one of the most beautiful places in Nizhny. It offers spectacular views of the city, and you can see where the World Cup Stadium is being built. It's a very romantic place, and all the city's residents enjoy walking here, including me. Nizhny Novgorod is a beautiful place. I think everyone who visits will really absorb themselves in what the city has to offer. I think the fact that it allows you to relax and reflect on everything is part of its charm. I hope to see you here in this wonderful city for the 2018 World Cup. Take care.
When it comes to iconic symbols of Russian culture, few objects are as recognizable as the Matryoshka doll, known more commonly as a Russian nesting doll.
The Matryoshka doll is one of the most famous Russian brands, but its history only goes back about 130 years. They were created at the end of the 19th century by the Russian artists Vasily Zayazdoshkin and Sergei Milutin. The first Matryoshka was based on the Japanese Fukuruma figurines, which were comprised of 4 parts. The outside was an old man, and the inside was his entire family. The Matryoshka doll was a woman rather than a man and had 7 dolls in total. When the artists created the first doll, they named it after their chambermaid. Her name was Matryona, which means mother in Greek. So a Matryoshka doll is a mother doll.
Today, one of the most famous makers of the dolls is the Khoklomskaya Rospis Center. Located in Semyonov, 80 kilometers from Nizhny Novgorod, they've been making them since 1920, and they account for a large percentage of the doll manufacturing in Russia.
The wood we use here to make the dolls comes from the linden tree. It's an easy wood to process and is very pure. In the processing department, the wood is polished and sculpted. This is an important stage because each doll has to fit perfectly into the next bigger size doll. They must be able to go in and out freely. This allows us to create the whole family. The dolls are then primed and covered in a specially prepared starch in order to seal all the pores of the wood. This makes it easier for the artists to paint. Finally, the dolls are finished off with lacquer before being sent off to be sold.
With attention to detail that is second to none, in Semyonov, all the painting is done by women and all of it by hand.
Each region has its own look. Even if you don't know much about the differing features, you can never mistake a traditional Matryoshka from Semyonov. If you see a doll with black hair, a yellow headscarf, a red dress and multicolored flowers on its apron, you can be certain it is from Semyonov. Without a doubt, thanks to its traditional design, the costume and its unique look, the Matryoshka doll has become a quintessential part of Russian life. Known worldwide, it represents our country and is something specifically Russian.